I totally am. Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 353. I had to make my eyes big so I could read. I'm Laura, also known as Lala, and apparently I need reading glasses.
In addition to the contacts you wear.
In addition to my contacts. I just went to the eye doctor like 3 months ago, so welcome to getting older.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It is...
I like this shawl pin you got going on
Tuesday, June 19th. A small set of circulars is holding this, because I have probably, 10 shawl pins. Don't know where they are.
I only have 2.
Yeah, I went a little Leslie Wind crazy a while back.
I love her.
So, and I love them. They're just so easy to lose.
I had one of those cable needles for my thumb. Mm-hmm. I really need to buy another one because I lost it in my move. Mm. And I really like that. We should place a Leslie Wind order. That'd be fun. Anyway, knitting!
Yes, this is a knitting show, believe it or not.
Sometimes.
We also complain about getting old and getting fat.
Purchase things on the internet in our heads.
Yeah. Anyway, would you like to go or do you want me to?
I can go. I'm almost in this row. And since I've done like 3 whole rows on this week, I'm totally claiming it. And now I'm going to have to bust my butt to get it done. This is my Desert... Actually, it's not. It's pretty far along. This is my Desert Vista Dye Works sock.
But it's still sock number 1.
It's still sock number 1, but I have 10 days.
I'm just making whoever was anxious about it more anxious.
No.
Who was it?
She's from Long Island. What is her name now? Oh.
It wasn't Jan, was it?
No, it wasn't Jan. It was, she did the thing for Remy. I'll think of it in a second.
Okay.
Anyway, so, but the first one I have, at the end of this gray stripe, I was going to do heels. The, sweet tomato heels. But now I'm running out of time and I don't want to look things up because I'm lazy. So I'm going to do an afterthought heel, I think. Or a Wendy Johnson heel. I haven't decided yet. I have both those memorized. So I can do those pretty fast. This is Desert Vista Dye Works. Bing Crosby and the Andrews sisters. Bing and the Andrews sisters. And it's going pretty... quickly. If I would work on it, go even faster.
Those 3 rows went like that.
Yeah, like super fast. I just need to. I'm out of an audiobook right now. I'm waiting for the library to get. I'm like 2 of 2 on the next one that I want to listen to. So I'm waiting for that to come in. I might put on Harry Potter in the meantime and just zip it out. I think if I get a repeat done a day, I'll be fine, which is not hard to do at all. So this is the first one. I'm knitting this on Nova Platinas. They are size 0. They're just like regular Platinas, which are a Knitter's Pride needle. They just have a little bit of a sharper tip. They're a little bit heavier than like the Addy sock rockets. And they have a shorter tip because they're 16 inches versus one long circular like what Leslie is using. So that is my first sock. I have 10 days to finish the pair. I think I can do this. And I want to get a sweater done on those 10 days too. And some spinning. So we'll see. It's a good thing I'm off for the summer. So that is the very first thing. And then just hanging it out, bumping into stuff, in my Knit Spin Farm bag with little bitty hedgehogs on them. So that's a fun one. The other thing that I have is living in a Chicken Boots giant bag. I think this is what, their double shot? I'm too lazy to take off tags.
I have no idea.
Zip double, and this is the Quidditch fabric. This was a Harry Potter fabric from last year's update. She's doing she does a Harry Potter update every summer, and if you want to be like first in line, join her mailing list and she'll send you stuff. It's a flat bottom bag, which I really like. It's this clear vinyl so I can see what's on the inside, and the zipper portion actually will fold down and in while you're using it, so it's kind of like out of the way. And it's got a secondary pocket right here on the inside. So there's a pocket there as well, which I meant to throw my swatch in earlier, and I totally forgot. I started a sweater, y'all. This is Quicksand. It is by Heidi Kermayer. It is a top-down sweater that is yoked. So I'm increasing... there's different ways of doing yoked sweaters. You can do like every other stitch increase, knit like 8 rows, every other stitch increase, knit 8 rows. That's not how this one is. This is every 6 rows, you increase from a point that increases out, kind of like the opposite of the top of a hat. So, and it's increasing out. It has I'm not certain about the end treatment. So the end treatment for this is you pick up a row and bind it off. So you pick up a row, knit it, and bind it off.
Does it curl?
It curls under. And the bottom is a curled up too hem. I don't know. I might do a folded hem at the bottom if I have enough. Because I think that will lay a little bit flatter. It is a bulky or Aran weight. She actually calls for the linen that you used for your tank.
Oh, the
Quince & Company Kestrel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm totally like subbing yarns in a way, because this is 100% wool, that might not be effective. Because she says use a yarn with drape. Wool
isn't especially known for its drape.
But I'm also a larger girl, and when you continually add weight to something and it doesn't have seams at the top to help support that weight, it's going to add some drape. So, plus it's at a fairly loose gauge. It's at 3.5 stitches equals an inch. So it's fairly loose. She calls for size 9 needles. I'm using size 8. These are Knitter's Pride Melodies, which are similar to Knitter's Pro Zings. A little bit of a blunter tip, not super, super sharp. So that is the other thing. I'm alternating skeins, so I've got 2 in here. I'm hoping to get through a skein a day. They're 150 meters. That's a lot of knitting, but it is on larger needles. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We'll see if it happens. That would get me through this still with time left in the month for the socks.
I mean, I think it's definitely doable. It's just a matter of whether or not your mojo sticks around.
Yeah, so I did all this from around 1 o'clock on today. So in around 5 hours.
On today. That makes me think of that drag show.
Oh.
The drag race morning show thing they did.
Yeah, on Season On. Yeah. It's funny. So those are the 2 things that I have on the needles right now. Alternating skeins I feel like is going to be essential for this, because it is very hand-dyed gray yarn.
You didn't talk about what the yarn was.
Oh, it's Fleece Artist something something something. I don't know.
Fleece Artist Merino Aran.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't have any tags with me. And the smoke colorway, we think. We might be adjusting that. Because I cannot remember. We bought this yarn at the first TNNA that Leslie went with me to. And I bought everything that they had. We went to this yarn showroom?
Sample it?
No, it was, remember we went to that yarn shop that only sold online. So they had like a showroom.
Oh, yes. And yarn market.
Yes. And so you walk in, and it's like the storage facility area. That's how it was like 6 years ago. And
there was only one of each yarn.
There was one of each yarn in one color. Or did they have each color?
No, it was
just one color. And they would go back. If you wanted to see what they had available, they would go back and pull it out for you. Yeah. And that's where you got your wallet you still use today.
Hidaki. Yeah, I use that wallet all the time.
So this is what I bought on that trip, and it's finally going to get used up, hopefully.
That's awesome.
I'd like to get this done by the end of the month. If not, I'd like to get it done for the Try It On room. I was inspired. Someone in the Hello Yarn group or Southern Cross group did a hand spun one of these that was absolutely gorgeous. I can't spin thick enough to do a hand spun one of these that would look good. So I'm going to do this. There's also a fingering weight version called Fine Sand that I might have also purchased. So I can do fine spinning.
Yes.
So that might happen in the future. I feel like how this one turns out. I was going through, I was like, man, I don't even know that I have any Aran weight yarn. Yeah, I have like 4 sweater quantities of Aran weight yarn. So this is a good way of using it up.
Yeah, I haven't updated my stash since just before I moved. And I've got a couple bins worth that I need to add to my Ravelry stash.
I mean, this is old stash, so I feel good about using this up for stash. because I didn't buy anything for this sweater, and I actually, if I like this sweater, can reknit it a couple other times with, I have Cascade Eco Plus that would work. I have a Rowan wool cotton blend that would work. I didn't use those two, because my size in this pattern only calls for 950 yards, and I had like 1,000 of this.
Yeah.
But the others I have like 1,200 or 1,400 of, so I didn't want to have a bunch of extra skeins sitting around if I didn't need them. So anyway, I forgot to bring I was going to bring you weaving stuff, and I totally forgot.
Oh, it's okay.
Those little looms that came.
We can play with them on Friday when we watch Drag Race. We have a Friday date every week.
We do, and now we're adding to that. So now Drag Race is ending, and we're going to watch the Great British Baking Show. We can watch that tonight, the first 2 episodes, because I saved.
Okay.
I didn't cheat on you. I waited.
Thank you.
Leslie has this rule that I can't watch Drag Race until I'm with her, and it's some weeks, it's a hard rule.
Yeah. Because she remembers everything. Like, she can recall a challenge from season 3 and all the contestants and what happened, and I'm like, I can barely remember the contestants of the current season. So
because I'm slightly obsessed.
I think you have a much better memory for that sort of thing.
No. So we were having a discussion we do a group chat with our friends Jessica, Lynn, Leslie, and myself. And I remembered something that Lynn purchased like 3 years ago at Maryland Sheep and Wool. I can't even remember what it was, but she's like, I don't know that I've ever bought from that company. Oh, it was On the Round.
Oh, yeah.
It was Jessica. Was like, I don't know that I've ever bought from On the Round. And I was like, well, they were at Maryland Sheep and Wool in the Matterroot booth and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I can remember that. And that might not even be accurate, but in my head it is. But I can't remember what I ate for breakfast yesterday. So
it's fascinating how some things stick and don't. Like, I'm pretty good with numbers. I'm pretty good at remembering numbers, not adding them or subtracting them. But I don't know. Some things I have a harder time with, and I'm sure there's like a complex neurological.
Like, the only phone number I have memorized is my one for work. So if like something happens, I don't even have Leslie's number memorized.
I know yours. I won't recite it because then everybody will have it.
But you remember stuff like that, and I don't remember numbers at all.
Yeah. I don't have your parents' numbers memorized, but I do have them in my phone. Okay, so this is a knitting show usually. I will talk about my knitting. I made progress on stuff this week, but I didn't finish anything. I feel like when I do, I'll have a couple of things finished at once, if that ever happens. Sorry, I'm distracted. I keep looking around my room thinking, ooh, if I move that, I can put this there. If I move that, I can put because it's really cramped in here, and I need to clean it out. Anyway, I did make some progress this week.
Now you have me doing the same thing.
Stop judging my dirty room.
I'm not judging.
So I worked on my socks. I finished the first one. I didn't finish the heel because this is going to be an afterthought heel.
Look at you.
So I finished the first one. These are in Desert Vista Dye Works in the Ready Player One colorway.
And that's for sale right now on her site.
Oh, cool. I haven't gone and looked at the new. I don't think I have. The new colorways. Oh, did she put up the ones that she picked?
Another of hers got picked.
So every month, Desert Vista Dye Works has a colorway contest.
Got picked, and that's a good one.
She has a colorway contest, and this year's theme is movies. And
and we keep putting stuff up, like, for
and they
consideration.
Don't get picked.
And then they don't get picked. Because she actually wants... What did I pick this time? Beetlejuice, or was that you?
That wasn't me.
Okay, I picked Beetlejuice. It was, like, sci-fi fantasy.
Yeah.
Spiderwick, which I love, and then maybe Spamalot.
Yeah, I don't even remember what I picked now, but I don't care. I just want to win, but it's okay
because you get a free skein of yarn in that colorway if it gets picked.
That's true. Yeah.
And both of us had ones that were picked last year, so I don't think we can complain too much.
I'm just being a brat.
I had Kelvin and Hobbs picked last year, and you had Lightning Strike Heart. So
I love Lightning Strike Heart.
Keep at it.
Speaking of, I had a really nice person gift me a book on Audible, or not on Audible, on Amazon.
Really?
a male romance that they wrote, and they said that us talking about that on the show prompted her to write, because it's something
really?
she used to write, but not in this genre, but this was something she wanted to do.
Cool.
And so us talking about it prompted her. I downloaded it, but I haven't read it yet. But whoever
That's
you are,
fun.
I have no idea who you are on Ravelry because you didn't say. So you have to tell me that so I can send you a thank you.
But don't PM her on Ravelry. You have to send it to her via email.
Yeah, it's better because with SSK, I'm checking the PMs, but unless they're SSK related, I just don't have time for
You're
them at the
actually
moment.
checking your PMs?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm up to 671. So if you want to get a hold of me, email me. Hey, you don't call me less at gmail.com or Leslie at TheKnitGirlls.com. Either one, they go to the same place. So I'm on talk number 2 for Ready Player One. I just started it, I think, last night and knit for a little bit. Nothing exciting. I'm just doing 72 stitches in the round on 2.25 millimeter needles, and then I will go back and pick up the I had to pull out a bunch after I bound off.
To get the color
to get to the next color repeat, so they'll match. So I'll use this for a heel. Hopefully that's enough. I'll do the first one.
15 grams for my heels.
Oh, I've never measured, I don't think, how much I use for the heels. And this is in a knit spin farm bag with crazy kitties playing with yarn.
Yay, crazy kitties.
Second item is my Zephyr Cove shawl.
How's that going?
Good. This is by Romy Hill.
So you extended the size on that last time
I did.
we talked.
This is the gray that was left. So if I didn't have to go an extra 11 rows in order to keep the repeat numbers even, I probably could have gone more, but this isn't enough for 11 rows.
No.
So I'm now on the solid. So this is the yarn. The company is called With Pointed Sticks, and it is the crayon base. The gray was called Soft Kitty, and this color is Sea Foaming at the Mouth. It's a little bit darker than it's showing on the screen. I'm knitting this on a 4mm needle. Let me untangle it. I've only got one strand attached, but I swear it's so tangled. Alright.
I think when you have long, skinny shawls, they tend to get more tangled up.
So it starts here with a little leaf detail, which will show better once I've blocked it. And then you've got an increased section with the gray. And then you've got a striped section with both of the colors, the gray and the sea foam. And then there's like a short row section.
Oh, look at that. I like that detail.
So it's thicker on this side and then thinner at the point. And then you do some more regular rows, and then the lace starts in like 4 rows. There's like...
So you're almost done.
I'm getting there. I hope to be done by next week, because I've only got, I think, 4 more rows until I'm at the right number to start doing the feather and fan.
Yeah.
And
you can block it over at my house if you would like in the guest bedroom.
It's pretty long, so I'll either have to block it there or on the carpet here. We'll see.
I have those 2 boards. You can come block it over there. I have 10 feet worth of blocking material.
Ask her how she knows.
I know. Actually, more than that. But
so
that's what got utilized.
Living in... I can't remember the name of the company that made these bags.
Tangled Skein.
No.
Well, she bought it after...
Oh, okay.
It was Knotted Bags.
Yeah, I think Knotted Bag was who it was when we got it.
And then Tangled Skein bought them last year. Or the year before.
And the last thing that I'm working on, actually got a decent amount of work this week.
Look at you 3 projects.
Was birch sap? Birch sap, I think is the name of it. Yes, birch sap. And this is out of WIP Yarns. And this is in the Castle Stone colorway. So it's a kettle dyed gray with flecks of orange and teal and darker green.
Like a rust.
Yeah.
And a teal.
And I'm knitting this on 4mm needles as well.
And you have 2 skeins of that, right?
Yes, I have 2 skeins. Because this...
Because I keep trying to steal... Oh, here it is. It's a skein.
Yep.
That might be a better... You can see the specs.
And she sends a little stitch marker with each
Aww.
skein. So
Oh, yeah, she does. Cute. Super cute. Sakawaka.
So this is a typical top-down triangular shawl up to a point, and then one half of it gets bound off and the other half goes, it gets sort of long and skinny and goes in that direction, which is an interesting take on the long asymmetrical shawls. So I got a full feather and fan repeat done this week, and I got this done while watching Hell House LLC. It's basically the same as every other Hell House horror. It's a horror.
I don't know what a Hell House is. I can guess that. I don't watch horror, so
there were like in the I want to say early 2000s. There was like 3 or 4 different Hell House variation movies.
They're movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this one was a little different. It was sort of documentary style, like Blair Witch, kind of. But
were you going to houses with bloody handprints and you wonder why you die?
This one included clowns.
Oh.
And
were they from outer space?
Young 20-somethings.
That's probably the last horror film I've seen was clowns from
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh my goodness, because someone showed that to me like 10. Some boy that I was
dating,
on our server. I know it is. Some boy I was dating like 10 years ago was like, I can't believe you haven't seen this. And I was like,
that was like a 90s like epic, a cult classic. It's creepy as all get out, but it is like it's like a, what do you call them? A rite of passage.
To watch that?
Yes.
I feel like...
Maybe my family... Well, I was going to say maybe my family's different than yours, but yes, my family was very different than yours. Anyway, I've got another full feather and fan repeat to go, along with the eyelet and stockinette rows in between before the bind off of half of it, and I start the long skinny part. So this will be a couple more weeks probably. And that's in my Tom Ben bag. And that's it. That's all I'm working on. I have not finished anything this week. I do have some spinning, but Laura's got stuff to talk about first.
Oh, I have a finished object.
You do?
Just one.
Just one little old thing.
Just one small project. So I finished the Free Your Fade. So it started with this green, and then faded to, so the green is Republic of Wool, and then it faded to, was it Twisted You?
Hold on. Tempting You in Stardust.
Yeah, in Stardust. That's the lovely folks from Maryland. And then it went to Hedgehog Fibers in Concrete. And I did do a Pico bind off, and I added beads to my Pico bind off.
You're so fancy.
I am. And I did like, come on camera. I did like pretty subtle. They're kind of like an iridescent mauve. That kind of goes, I think it goes well with that pavement. So they don't stick out.
Yeah, they're almost like a matte.
Yeah. That's a good way of saying them. Like a matte, but kind of iridescent.
Yeah.
And like a mauve color. So it goes really well with the pinky part of the concrete pavement, whatever that is. Hedgehog.
We've been showing the wrong side, I think. Oh, is there a wrong side?
Yeah. We're showing the right side, because when you look at the striping, as I point to your boob, it's right there. Oh, that is the wrong side. Liar. You flipped it. That's what it is.
Oh, this is my fault.
So it is. So that gives it I like the beads because it gives it a little bit of weight, a little bit of drama. Plus, I'm teaching a beading class with knits in the fall, and I wanted something to just show how you could add a little bit of bling to a shawl that doesn't call for beads.
Yeah.
So the way that I did this bind off, the Pico has you cast on 2 using the cable cast on, and the second one that you cast on, I just slipped a bead on before I knit 2 together through the back loop, knit 2 together, and then you bind off by knitting 2 together through the back loop, or that's how I do it, a stretchy bind off. You bind off 4 that way. So I just slipped a stitch onto the first stitch that would be bound off. So that's all I did. And I used the dental floss method for that. I tried a crochet hook and it started shredding it, and I don't know why I even bothered, because I like the dental floss, Oral-B Super Floss method anyways. So then I went to block this monster, and typically when I block, and it's got dog fur on it, and I'll tell you why.
It does.
Typically when I go to block...
You own a pet. That is why there's dog fur.
Well, typically when I go to block, I block on my guest room bed, which is a double, and I have 2 big boards, and I can block, and usually actually everything that I've ever knit, except for like one other thing, has fit on there.
But put together, they're roughly square versus a long rectangle.
Well, you can change them, so I can get it up to 72 inches.
But I mean, on your
or
bed,
90 inches long.
roughly
Yeah,
square.
but I'll put one on a chair,
okay.
so I like switch the orientation. Anyway, so I can get like 90 inches. 48 plus 48, 94 inches. If I push them together and
96.
use a chair to... Okay.
Yeah, 96. Sorry.
Okay. I can give that money. If I can, like, shove them together, use a chair, but, well, that wasn't long enough. This is over 10 feet long. So, it is huge! And I actually so I laid them out on my living room floor, and I was pinning out every single one of the picots, and then I got done and I was like, that looks like crap. So then I took blocking wires and went back through. And at this point, Pearl decided that pins are awesome to eat.
Yes.
Which they are not. So then she got banished at Baby Gates. So she got banished to the kitchen, where she just sat there staring at me and whining. Mm-hmm. And then Humberto's like, I like walking on things that are blocking. So by the time I got it all blocked out, it had dried.
Yeah.
So then I had to go back with a steamer and add a little bit of moisture. It was very hardcore at my house. I need to get like a spray bottle.
Yeah, those are like $1.
Yeah, I know. I had one for when I was doing wallpaper removal, but it's got chemicals in it that I did not want to. Anyway, it's got fabrics. Well, thank you. It's been soaked in Celebration and puppy and kitty rolling.
All I can smell is the soak. So.
So it's huge, and I'm not certain. I can't imagine if you did the real fade how big that is.
They are
this
large.
Is 900 yards, a little over 900 yards, and it's pretty huge. I used half of this, and then at the Tempting You, I used 3/4, and then I had around a yard left.
So 200, 300, 400, roughly, yards.
200, 300, 400, yeah.
Cool. 900 yards?
A little over that, because this had like 470 yards for the skein or something. Anyway, it's done. It's blocked. Yay! It'll go to SSK, I think. I'm only going to bring like 5 shawls to SSK, and I think this is going to be one of them, because it's a newer one and people haven't used it as much. I'm going to turn off my sound on my phone.
Although, if you are coming to SSK and you have knit a Freer fade, please bring them.
Yeah.
Because I'm always marvel at how enormous they are.
I've seen other people's in progress, but I don't think I've seen one done in blocks.
Leslie at...
was it done in blocks?
In Portland, when we were at Happy Knits for our meet and greet, Leslie of the...
Not Happy Knits, Twisted.
Twisted, yeah, sorry. Leslie of the Naughty Knitwits?
Yeah, I thought she was working on it. No? Was hers done?
Hers was done, I'm pretty sure.
The other woman was knitting on it?
Yeah. Or maybe Leslie was working on hers and the other lady was done. I'm sorry, I don't remember the other lady's name. I only remember the one because her name is Leslie. And I'm Leslie. It's not a personal thing. That's one of those things I'm not great at remembering names. I can probably remember your phone number if you've ever given it to me. But, anyway.
Okay. I knew I was teaching
one of those two
Leslie
ladies did have a finished fade, and it was gigantic. It was lovely, but it was gigantic. So
maybe one day I'll get there.
I mean, I would have to shop for yarn in order to make one, because I don't really... I'm not certain.
That was what was fun with this, is I had 3 special skeins that just kind of went together, and they were from all different trips. So the first one was from Portland, the second one was from Maryland, and the third one was from Colorado. So it was all like, this was Twisted, this was Maryland Sheep and Wool, and then this was Fancy Tiger. So it was all kind of, and that was the only thing I bought at Fancy Tiger, I think.
That's a good way to use your souvenir skeins.
Yeah.
If you have a color scheme you typically stick to.
Purple.
Yeah.
Gray. Look, there's green in it, though.
Yeah.
I've added a color.
You're branching out.
Only because it had purple in it. But, anyway.
I have some spinning.
You do? It's in there?
No. I brought this out to start knitting, and then I was like, oh, but I'm spinning.
Oh, you have my memory card in your camera.
Yes, I do. And I've taken everything off of it, so
yes.
You can have it back now.
So I can lose it.
And I'll
before putting it back in my camera.
Mine back in here. So I spun, because Laura's been talking about spiral ply, and it piqued my interest. And then when I finally understood, like when she explained it to me for like the 4th time, and I understood that it was essentially one thin ply.
I'm glad one of us figured it out.
Ply, I kind of got what it was, and I still wanted to spin it, and I'd like to spin it again, this time with a true lace weight, instead of what I spun, which was probably closer to a fingering weight single.
I think it looks great, though. Yours looks fabulous.
So this is Sternocht. It is a Shetland colorway from Into the World. It's Starry Night. The Sternocht must be like the...
It's the German.
German. Okay, I wasn't sure what the language was. And I got 232 yards. What I wrote on the show notes is very wrong. I will correct that. So I spun the Into the World colorway thicker as a single, and then the other is a silk from
Leslie stole from my stash.
Yes. Hip strings?
Yes.
It was 2 ounces of a silk, and if I had spun it as a lace weight, I probably could have gotten away with just 1 ounce, but apparently my brain forgot how to spin that thin, so it ended up being thicker.
I think it's perfect, though, for what you used it for, and the silk's nice and strong, so I feel like that was a really good choice. My choice was fail, because it kept breaking.
Well, this was your choice, though, so...
Well, but that's not what I was going to do for mine. My pink was way too... It kept snapping, but we'll get to that in a second.
There are some areas really where the blues are pretty similar, but for the most part, it gives it a really nice contrast.
And there's that sheen of the silk that's a nice contrast, too.
So I'm pretty happy with how it came out.
I think it's gorgeous. What are you going to make with it?
I'm not. I'll give it away. I enjoy giving my hand spun away. So it'll either be an SSK skein or just a giveaway skein.
There you go.
I don't know.
That's nice.
And then,
mine, you would cuss me out if I gave it to you, because it's broken every 5 feet or so.
The other I wanted to do was, for some reason I kept calling these coils, but they're not really. It's beehives, right?
No, those are coils.
But I thought coils, the whole yarn was spun, spun.
That's super coils.
Okay, well what I looked up on the internet was wrong.
Well, I thought beehives was a single. Like, they were done within a single.
I don't think so.
Where's your JC Box book?
I don't know. Probably downstairs.
Okay.
This is what I spun. The core is a Zephyr Merino silk that was on a cone. Well, it was. It's on a bobbin now because I put twist into the bobbin, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and I've used it for all my core spinning since then. And the variegated is a superwash merino nylon from Moon Rover, and the colorway is Fair Isle. She doesn't dye fiber anymore. She still dyes yarn, but
every once in a while, yeah.
So this is, oh god, see, look how puffy that is.
Well, did you wash it?
Yes.
See,
gently.
No, with those you have to steam.
I don't own a steamer, and I wanted it to be finished.
Okay. But that's why, like, when you wet it, it messes up your coils.
That may be true, but some of this was from before it got washed. This might have come loose. Okay, well, I'll show it to you guys so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So I did the coily beehivey things.
So you spun one thick and thin.
I spun the Moon Rover thick and thin, and then plied it onto the Zephyr silk and wool lace weight that already had the same direction of twist in it as the thick and thin. And then did the coils or beehives or whatever they're called.
Did you anchor them?
Yes, I anchored them at the beginning and the end. And some of them came out really well, and some of them
I think it'll be fun to weave with. Are you going to weave with it?
did not come out super well. Like, this one is very loose, which is not supposed to move like that. So that one I didn't anchor super well. But most of them I did. They're not going to move. I mean, they'll move within that spot, but that's it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just wanted to... I got the urge to just...
Yeah.
do coilies, and that's what I did. So I think I'm going to order a steamer because I don't have one,
Yeah, government steamers are fairly inexpensive.
and it would be, you know, something I could take to SSK and like you do with yours,
Yeah.
and it can help us do prep for the try-it-on room,
Yeah.
which is always a big hit with our SSKers.
There you go.
Because it's like playing dress up as an adult.
With
Sometimes
handbags.
with hilarious results.
Oh, the cat sweater.
Yes. I don't know that anything will ever top that. But that's it. That's all the spinning that I've got.
Okay. I have a little bit of spinning. I have my super sad. I'll start with my super sad and move on past that. So I also tried to spiral ply, but I had not added, just super weird, I had not added enough twist to my pink, and so it broke around every 5 feet. So all these little bits are ties where I had to physically tie it back together because I tried spinning it back together and it would not hold. So I'm really disappointed in this. It will work for for the owl, I guess. I'm gonna have to end up at the end of my owl, because I said I would do a certain amount of ounces. I'm gonna have to weigh it, and if the brakes got rid of too many, because I actually had like some parts that, you know, it broke like 6 times within a foot that I just threw away. So if the brakes change the ounces by too much, I'm going to have to redo it. Also, the unicorn batlings bled, so what was white is kind of bluish in spots. And that was fiber that had been blended together. So it is what it is. I'm super not happy with it, but it's 102 yards, and on my card it says, next time add more twist.
Exclamation point, exclamation point,
It was
exclamation
spun on the Lendrum for the singles, and then plied on my rose. And it was a pain in the butt. In fact, the first time I applied it, the spiral ply, it looked really, really bad, so I had to go back through and add a little bit more twist.
I was going to ask, because it looked a little more twisted than when you sent me the picture.
Yeah. So, and then it broke like 6 more times as I was adding more twist, because you're
It's
taking
weird
out the
because
twist.
you not having enough twist is a very
It's really weird.
rare problem.
Yeah. And I don't know what the deal is. It could be superwash merino deal. It could be, I don't know what the deal is.
The colors are great.
But
I wish they had worked out
yeah,
better.
well, I still have to knit a baby hat out of it regardless, so we'll get there. It'll happen. And then I'm going to try it again with some commercial lace weight for my 1/2. Other things that I finished. I was plying this actually as we recorded last week. Not physically as we recorded, but I was trying to get it done before we recorded and ran out of time. This is 5 ounces of my patchwork kit from Hello Yarn. So these are little bits and bobs of fiber that I just spun back to back to back. I can get 5 ounces on my Lendrum with the woolly winder on. And this is a total of 6 ounces.
That came out really,
Or 5 ounces.
really pretty.
360 yards of a 3-ply. So this is like 1,000 meters for Stash Dash. So that was nice.
That's awesome.
I like that one. And this is eventually going to become part of a blanket. I have 2 kits to spin like this, and then I have another kit that I have to decide what I want to do with. But I'm almost done with that kit. I have 4 more ounces to spin. And then the last thing that I finished, I'm really in love with. These are Gemmy Bats from Hobbly Hoy.
Oh, that's pretty.
They're merino and sparkle, 4.6 ounces. I core spun them first, and then I chain plied them. And one is 50 yards, and the other is 90 yards. They were core spun and plied, both on the rose, on the, not on the overdrive, on the wildflower flyer. And yeah, I really like the texture.
I feel like you don't give them enough appreciation. They're
yeah, I like
so
these a lot.
Pretty.
In fact, I want to get a macro lens for my phone so I can take like...
Yeah, I was going to say, don't say your camera. Where is your camera? Do you know where it is?
Yeah! I freaking took the card out of it to give it to you the other day. But I feel like I should have taken with my SLR a real good picture, but...
These are really make me happy. They're much lighter than I would have thought a chain ply could be.
And they're, well, core spun's always lighter.
Yeah, but even a core spun, I would have thought plied back on itself like that would be heavier, but it's not. It's super light.
And I didn't add twists to the core going the opposite direction because I knew I was going to chain ply them. I was going to ply them, and these just got a regular bath. So I'm really, really happy with those. You win some, you lose some. I mean, and we learn from our mistakes. We're human, so now I know to add more twists to the other thing.
And even though it looks like we're super graceful about things when they don't go well, you don't get the cursing we do between ourselves over text.
And then the last thing that I'm spinning on is some Hello Yarn fiber. This was Odd Relics. I must have bought this. I guess it's not
a club.
Club, because it doesn't say club on it. I could have sworn it was a club. Must have bought this. So this is Odd Relics. It's Falkland, 4 ounces. And this is for, what month are we in? June? Mm-hmm. April's Patreon. So, I have the first 4 ounces spun. That is in here.
The first 2 ounces spun.
2 ounces, I'm sorry. 2 ounces out of 4 ounces. But I spun out my woolly winder, so it's hard
to see any other color.
To see, yeah. Just that bluish purple mauve on the top is what you can see.
I think that's going to come out. Like, I can see how it might be boring to spin in the darker colors, but I think it's going to look really pretty when you're done.
I think it will too. And it's got lots of puppy hair on it because Pearl keeps laying on it. She's using it as a pillow lately.
I think if we ever get any Patreon people who win who are allergic to animals, they're just going to get a gift certificate because there's no way.
Have to do it in like a clean room and there's going to have to be like a Dexter thing that happens.
Get an autoclave and put it through the autoclave.
Anyway, that's it for me for spinning. I've been weaving some because we took a weaving class.
I have mine with me.
Do you? Yes. I didn't. Mine's almost done. I just need to like hem stitch the bottom and weave in all the ends, and then it's done. Do you want to show yours though?
I haven't finished. I haven't touched mine since the class. So Laura and I took a class by Rachel Denbo.
Yeah.
She was coming through the area on a trip and contacted one of the local shops here. And
it's not like a knitting shop either. It's a
lifestyle.
Yeah. Lots of air plants.
Yes, which I didn't realize were real. I assumed they were fake because they have no soil. But apparently they are a thing. So this is the book. Rachel Denbo is the author. And we took Weaving 101 with her. We do both already have a very basic understanding of weaving, but this was more
tapestry weaving.
Yes, it was more tapestry weaving with raya knots. And
my mom asked me if we were going to learn how to macrame next.
What was
for our air plants? She's terrible.
Your mom is hilarious and wonderful. What was the other thing called? It looks like sideways knit stitch.
Sumac. Yeah, I like that. That's my favorite.
Yeah. So
I might have done that like every row for the whole rest of the thing.
I did that for several rows. So with the purchase of the class, you also got a very basic loom.
Yeah.
It's
a cherry, a light cherry.
Yeah. So this is what it looks like right now. when it's actually trimmed, the fringe will be more.
I totally over trimmed my fringe, so it's like an inch.
Over trimming fringe is the episode title now.
You're welcome.
Read into that what you will.
2, 4, 5.
So you start with this particular class. She had us start with some basic weaving, and then we did these raya knots and more basic weaving to add space. And then we did another row of raya knots. And then we had some, I don't know what this weaving is called. Where
it's like back and forth.
Yeah, where it's not...
like short row weaving,
yeah.
basically. Mom said she'll teach us a way that we don't get the gaps. There's like a way, apparently, that you don't get holes.
Yeah, probably us having yarn that was thinner than the warp probably didn't help, but...
Probably not.
And then we did another row of raya knots, and then more of this, like, short row weaving. And then this here is the sumac. Let me get closer so you guys can see. Here, this is done sideways, but to me it looks like knit stitches put on its side. So
yeah, like a
way.
bind off almost.
It looks like knit stitches. And that's actually pretty easy to do once you figure out what direction you're going. If you're spatially challenged, like me, I did it wrong more than I did it right. And then I just did 2 colors, and then this is just roving. We taught the teacher a lot about yarn and fiber.
Whether she wanted to learn or not.
Because she's super knowledgeable when it comes to how, the yarns and the weaving work together, and we're relatively knowledgeable about wool and drape and all that. So it was a really good participatory
I had
class.
fun with it.
So I need to trim my fringe and then finish whatever I'm going to do up here, and then it came with like a dowel to finish it off and hang it and all that. So there's still stuff to be done before it can be considered finished, but
I need to weave in on my ends, which is the bane of my existence.
yeah, it's not your favorite thing to do.
I just need Mama Linneman to come visit.
So this was our Saturday thing.
Yeah.
She also hosts a candle making. This particular shop has some really interesting classes.
She makes candles. Like, she is a candle maker primarily.
And
the owner.
She also hosts classes for candle making and stuff. So that's something maybe in the future I might take.
Yeah.
And she does some art classes as well, like basic abstract art, that sort of thing. So
it was fun.
Yeah.
It was in a
cool.
cute little area of Memphis, too, that I hadn't been to before.
And so that was our weekend. Reading. Do you want to talk about what you have read and are about to read?
I finished Dark Prophecy. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy the evolution of the character of Apollo throughout it. So the basic premise of this series is, in the last Rick Riordan series, Apollo's is more concerned about himself than he is about mortals and demigods, and as punishment Zeus sends him as a mortal. He becomes mortal, and so he has to go through tasks. It's typical quest type thing. You find some friends, you leave home, you go through tasks, there's a reward at the end. But I really like how he's evolving as a character. So this was the second book in the series. There's going to be a third, and I think the series is done with 3. It seems like it's going to be done with 3. This one it's funny because as an English major looking at it, like the first book, every like beginning of the chapter is like haikus, and the prophecy that they get is a limerick. And then in this one, they get like a pentamic sonnet as the prophecy. So, and it goes through like the rhyme schemes and stuff. So I'm like, Rick Riordan, you're teaching children about poetry. Go you.
It's like Shakespearean iambic pentameter?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the prophecy is. So, not the whole book, just the prophecy. But I'm enjoying it. I'm liking it a little bit better than his Magnus Chase series, which I need to read the second, and that I think I'm going to do that next. So that's what I finished. That was the last audiobook. I'm waiting for The Thief by Megan Whalen Turner. That's one of my favorite series. The new book just came out, so I want to listen to the other books in the series before because she does like 5 years in between books, so I've forgotten a little bit.
That's so brutal.
It makes me sad, but The Thief is really, really good. If you have a child that loves Rick Riordan, that's a really good series as well. And it's got a twist. Love it. One of my favorites. So I'm going to reread those, and then I picked up a couple books at work today. We got a Junior Library Guild shipment in, so I'm going to read some. I'm actually going to read. I've been kind of slacking this summer on reading my YA kids lit books, but I'm going to get back to it. And right now, what I'm about to start is the new adults paranormal romance, Nalini Singh, Silver Silence. It's she's doing a trilogy that kind of finishes up her Psy series. So I am going to do that. Is Michael leaving to pick up Kobe? Because I'm parked behind him.
No.
Okay, good. Whew, I heard the garage door going. Anyway, so that is what I'm reading. What are you reading?
I am still listening to the Kate Daniels series. I'm on the 6th book. I'm almost at the end of it. I'm looking up to see what it is called.
Magic something.
Yes. I want to say Burns, but I'm not sure. Rises. No, Breaks. Magic Breaks. And this is by Alana Andrews, which is a husband-wife team, and it's good. I'm at the close to the end of the book, and this is where I stopped reading them, because this book tries to wrap up a bunch at once, but there are what 3 more books in the series at this point?
I don't know.
At least 2 more books in the series.
I just read them when they come out.
Oh, okay. So I
should go back and reread them though.
I'll continue to in the series, because with Audible, if I end up not liking, if I get like an hour into it and don't like it, I can request my money back or swap it out for something else. So that's positive. Although I haven't been unhappy with anything Alana Andrews they've written, so I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. And then last night I finished the second in the Bargainer series, called A Strange Hymn. Have you read either of those books? Okay, so the first one is called Rhapsodic, and the second one is called A Strange Hymn. And it's, I would say fantasy. It's set in modern day culture, and the people with certain abilities or powers keep them hidden from the general public. There's werewolves. This one also has sirens and enchantresses and sorcerers, and there's also a Fae kingdom, which I typically don't do books with the Fae. I don't know why. It's
Leslie doesn't like Fae or ghosts.
I definitely don't like ghosts, but Fae
I don't like ghosts.
It depends.
I don't like ghosts when it's a romance between like a mortal and a ghost. I can't. That's like that line of disbelief that I can't get through.
But this one is the Bargainer, who's one of the main protagonists, is one of the Fae kings. He's the king of the night, but in the mortal world, he's considered the Bargainer, and so he will do favors for you in exchange for other things.
He's like a Rumpelstiltskin.
I actually never knew the Rumpelstiltskin story, so I can't answer that. But it's interesting. It's an adult book because there are, romantic scenes. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty good. The premise is good. It's the second of at least I think there's actually 5 books in the series, but the second one just came out. So
is it on Kindle Unlimited?
Yes.
Okay.
It is on Kindle Unlimited. So I just finished the second one last night, and then now I'm going to start the book that was gifted to me tonight.
Excellent.
So favorite things, we already talked about our weaving class, which was really fun. 2 other notes. I did upload 2 videos this morning and this afternoon. The first one this morning was a video on fleece washing, which I recorded before we moved. and it's just been sitting on the server waiting for me to get around to editing it. And I finally got around to doing that. So there is a video out on fleece washing and how I do it, which is absolutely not the, written law. It's just the way that I do it. And it's linked in the show notes as well on the TheKnitGirlls.com webpage. And the second was a real wheel review that we did for Abby Frankelmont's Questionable Origins company. And the product was the device, which is an electronic spinner that's all enclosed in a hard shell case. Both of those videos are up on the site. I did put them out on YouTube, but I didn't put them on iTunes because it's not part of the regular podcast. If you guys think I should, I will. I just don't want you guys to feel like I'm spamming you if you have no interest in fleece washing or whatever, so... they are up on YouTube, and
eventually I think we'll do a bunch of wheel reviews if you guys are interested. If you're not interested, let us know, but we do have around 9 wheels between us.
I would guess it's probably closer to a dozen.
Yeah, maybe. Let's count. Ready?
Oh, goodness.
You've got the flat iron, the matchless, and the infinite twist wheel, right? Do you have anything else?
Not that you don't have.
Okay, so we both have the Hansen.
You also have the electric eel.
I have the electric eel.
You have 2 Saxony wheels.
I have the Shaktrius and the Lundrum. I actually have 3 because I have the
Country Craftsman. And you have the Lundrum upright.
Ladybug. Sidekick, Ladybug.
I think that's it. So
Rose.
Maybe. Oh, okay. So we do have a dozen.
Yay!
Between us. And Laura created this checklist of things to talk about.
Oh, I need to upload that.
So
I'll get on that.
Hopefully you guys find that useful. If there are other questions that you want us to address in those wheel reviews, let Laura know, because she is the mistress of the list. And I think that's it.
I think so. We sent out an SSK email.
Yes.
Classes got assigned, so those are all up.
If you are a last minute attendee, like you just got in the past week, fill out your class request form. We'll do our I say we, Laura will do her very best to get you assigned to the classes you want. We do have a couple that are full.
Yeah.
And this may be the first year that people don't get every single class they want.
Well, yeah, that happens.
But we are trying to accommodate everyone as best we can. So with spinning classes and with more involved hands-on knitting classes, there are restrictions on how many people can be in each class, because the teacher wants to be able to give everyone
the attention
they need. So
yep.
Anyhow,
but there's still room in a spinning class, and there's still room in the majority of the knitting classes.
Yeah.
The only one that's filled is the finishing and one of the shawl ones, I think, but there's room in the other version of that one.
Okay.
So the only one that's really truly full for all intensive purposes is the finishing for knitting classes. Sorry, I'm switching colors. Not colors, but skeins of yarn. Colors, yarn. I also had to count to 9 a couple seconds ago. It was very difficult for my increases for every 9th stitch.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you're talking, it's hard to do something like that. But anyway, I think that's it for this week. You guys have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you again next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.